balance in video games and in life. Um, so I don't think we have any new faces this time for the first time in the show's history. So let's just get started with Dragon Ball Z Fighter. It's been out for almost 6 days now. I think 6 days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
5 or 6.
5, yeah.
Came out last Friday.
5.5 days. So Mitch, you're the only
Great
one
game.
who has the game. So
Oh,
you start us off
great.
on this topic.
Great game, really, really beautiful, really makes you feel like Batman. I mean, like Dragon Ball Z characters. Yeah, pretty much like any other fighting game. It's got a lot of crazy combos and stuff you can do, and everyone here has played Smash except maybe Mary and this other guy. So it's like Melee in that once one person gets going, the other person just kind of doesn't have offense.
That's fighting games in general.
And then
Is it true that Yamcha's like the best character?
he's good. I got him on my team. He has a lot of really easy to do cross ups.
Oh, okay.
He has two Wolfang fists. For one is he'll do it at them that has short range, and then in the middle of it you can just teleport behind them and keep going. And he has another one that from long range it'll either go across the map or if you're close you'll just teleport immediately. He's really interesting to use, but he can't really do long combos, so you have to get a lot of neutral hits. So most people use him to build up meter, then swap off to someone. I typically swap off to Vegeta, and then I'll get them into a combo and end it with an ultimate or something, and then swap back.
Speaking of,
Go on.
no, sorry, I was saying speaking of Melee, the #1 player on PC is none other than Leffen, famed Melee.
Yeah, he switched to Fighter Z because he sucks in Melee.
I don't think he actually swapped. I think he's just dicking around with it.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's dicking. I don't know. He's dicking around with it, but then it turns out he's super good at it. So maybe his sub goal right now is if he gets 2,000 subs, he'll quit Melee.
Oh, I'm gonna go sub to him right now.
I use my Twitch Prime sub on him. Why not?
I want him out of Melee. Actually, no, I don't want him in Fighters.
Too late. He's already in Fighters.
Out of Melee. We need Leffen.
Yeah, according to Reddit, the Western world is just outclassed by Japan in these types of games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if he goes in the international tournament, he will lose. He will lose hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But he's trying to get He's trying to get #1 in PS4.
Europe took Street Fighter and Evo in 2015.
It's gonna have to go through me because I'm top 2,000, or I was the other day. I think now I'm top 3,000.
Americans are in top 5, are in top 8. Yeah, Street Fighter.
What? Oh, okay.
Well, I'm talking about Europe because he's Swedish.
Oh yeah,
I think it was like Luffy or something. Some guy won Street Fighter. He's from Europe. And I remember Leffen tweeting about it, talking about that inspired him.
Are you talking about that one French player that won at Street Fighter 4, like a long time ago?
Well, no, I mean like a few years ago.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't that long ago. Are we talking about the same guy, the French dude that used the PS1 controller on the Xbox 360 and beat everybody, and all the Japanese people were fucking losing
Well, this
their
was
minds?
Evo.
Yeah, this was Evo.
What?
So there was a guy. I think it was Luffy something, or maybe
Yeah,
it was
him.
Luffy.
Hold up.
Yeah, and he was a French player that used a PS1 controller and an adapter he found for PS1 controller to the 360, and he played Street Fighter 4. I forget what iteration it was. I think it was like Arcade Edition or Super Arcade, whatever. And he won, and all the Japanese players were like astounded and they were like awestruck. But this was like a while ago, a couple of years ago. And because in Japan, the players almost exclusively use sticks just because of the culture there. Like arcades never really died down, so they always use the machine, and then they go home and they have a stick to play. But so like in Western countries, arcades died down kind of a while ago, and people would play fighting games at home with a controller because sticks are kind of hard to get, or they weren't super readily available. So yeah, everybody
almost $200. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, well, back in the day it was much less, but yeah, the gist of the story is this dude used a PS1 controller, not even a 360 pad, just a PS1 controller, and all the Japanese people were like, "What is this? This is crazy." And I think I remember one of the players even made a video ridiculing him. Like they had a PS1 controller like in a dark room with like a light, and they were taking all these weird like shots of it, like almost like it was in an interrogation room. And they made fun of him. Like one of the guys like held the controller way out, and he was like hunched over, like making fun of him. Like, oh, is this how you play? It's really weird. It was really bizarre. But yeah,
Yeah, 2014.
I hate the FGC.
yeah, yep, that was it. Yeah, I mean,
Fighting
some of the
game-
well,
fighting
on a
game
side note,
community
some
is
of the
just
best
toxic.
Western players, in multiple games, they use just regular controllers. They didn't use arcade sticks like at all.
Sounds like
So,
a good
it's
way to mess
interesting
up your hands.
I mean, these people have been playing for a while, so
I mean, the
I'm sure
sticks are better for your hands, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a lot better
I
for
don't
your
know.
hands.
Yeah, you
Yes.
aren't holding the stick in this weird way that can
Yeah,
potentially cause
you're also
hand
you're also
problems.
spreading like actions across multiple fingers instead of
Yeah,
putting
that
it
too.
all on your thumb.
Mm.
Because you basically put
I don't-
all of the stress on your thumbs when you're using a controller, like 100%.
I mean, I've never really heard of any stories of the players like really complaining about it, but maybe.
Oh, it's rampant in Melee.
Yeah,
It's
it's
rampant
in
it's a big problem in Melee.
I mean, but Melee and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and even Killer Instinct are way different, you know.
Yeah, Melee
Yeah.
has a really high APM.
Yeah, so I'm saying for maybe the other fighting games, not really much of an issue. But I mean, I haven't heard any stories, so I don't know. But
I was
may-
watching.
you know, I'm sure there's validity to what you're saying.
I was watching a Fighter Z, like the like, grand finals at some tournament they're having, and I swear to God, the players are weight dashing. Like they were just dashing around everywhere. Like what the? That is insane watching some of that stuff because they use all their assists at the same time. They're just throwing energy blasts everywhere, dashing through them, and like just like somehow landing a punch in all that chaos.
Yeah, it kind
It's like
of
okay,
watching that game is kind of like watching Marvel versus Capcom.
yeah, it's very similar.
I mean, the whole swapping fighters in and out, and like throwing out a move, and like then switching to another person and comboing it into your super or whatever they call it.
It isn't like Blaze Blue or
It's
Yes.
it's more like Marvel than those, but it's made by the people who
Really?
made those. Yeah, because it's a 3v3 fighter. So
Yeah.
you call on your assists and you can swap characters mid combo and whatnot.
aren't there like assists in? No,
I-
there aren't assists in Blaze Blue. My bad.
I
Okay.
think there's assists in the new one. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I've never played any of those.
All in all, the game's animations look amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is definitely a beautiful
yeah,
game.
Mitch, you
Yeah.
said it was made by the same people that made BlazBlue.
Yeah, and
The arc
Guilty Gear.
system works.
Yeah, that makes sense why the animations look so good because I think like if I think of big fighters that are still like around doing 2D sprites and stuff, I think BlazBlue is the only one that comes to mind. Because even King of Fighters back in like 2014, they switched to 3D and everybody hated it.
Doesn't Skullgirls use?
Yeah, Skullgirls is
Oh
too.
yeah,
But
Skullgirls
that
is on a different level.
kinda-
That game is
yeah.
gorgeous.
Skullgirls is more like I guess I wasn't thinking like
Would you-
independent because
Would you consider Skullgirls big?
Yeah, right.
it was when it came out. All like fighting game people were like, "Oh man, this is the hottest game. It's awesome. It's better." Well, some people preferred it more than Marvel. I mean, not anymore though. I mean,
Doesn't
diehard
take
people still
much.
Play it, but
I mean, Marvel's like dead, so.
no, maybe.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's been dying for a long time, but some of the community won't let it. But like
Is it,
Are we talking about
the
are we
meta,
talking about Marvel in general or like 3 and Infinite? Like which ones?
Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That's
Oh,
like the most relevant one.
They should just
Even-
switch to
Even though
Infinite.
Infinite's the newest and everybody hated it.
I heard that Infinite was good. It was just good in a different way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Like,
heard
that's what they
Infinite
do,
was
and they had the Infinity Stones, which were apparently a really good thing, even though everyone thought it was going to be the end of the world.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
watched two best friends play through the story mode, and they're pretty seasoned like fighting game people, and they were saying like it controls great, but you know some of it looks wonky and
I hear the
other
same
stuff
from Maximilian, dude.
Maximilian Pegasus.
you know
I wish.
Maximilian. Man, Maximilian, like when I first saw him when way back when the Xbox One was like announced and they revealed Killer Instinct as a launch title, I was like, oh my god, I lost it. And then I typed that in right away on YouTube, and he was one of the first videos that I found. and like his reaction was like the same as mine, and I was like, "That's it, I'm following this guy. I'm gonna watch his videos." Same reaction as me.
He was one of the only people to recognize the Final Fantasy music when Cloud was announced for Smash.
Oh
He
yeah,
has my respect. Yeah.
cool.
Don't people ship bricks about Final Fantasy VII? Like, did nobody really notice that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of the reactions I've seen, they didn't notice the Final Fantasy music until like, the logo appeared and stuff.
I mean, they might have not been listening for it
What
super carefully.
Scrubs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what was our topic again?
Dragon Ball Fighter
DS.
Z, but I think we've ran out of things to say on it.
It looks good.
Yeah,
I'd like to play it if I had a next gen console.
I'd like to play it if I
You can
could.
get it on PC.
I don't have a competent PC.
It's doing very well on PC. It's got more. Its top or its peak player count is more than like most other fighting games combined.
I can see
Wow.
that.
That sounds about
I
right.
think it was at 44,000.
It's pretty good for concurrent play.
We got another great game, Monster Hunter.
All right, Monster
Oh, Monster
Hunter
Hunter.
World.
Yeah,
Mauricio.
this is your time to shine.
So, I'm not the most seasoned Monster Hunter player. I played a little bit on the PSP. I played Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, which was like the second game ported to the PSP, and then I played Monster Hunter 4U or Ultimate on the 3DS. Like I want to say a month before World came out because it was dirt cheap on 3DS, and that was fun. I liked it a lot. And World going from that to World is like it's an enormous jump, but World is so fun because a lot of the small things they just made quicker. Like you'd use the term streamlined, but just a lot quicker, a lot simpler. It doesn't take up too much time, and just playing online. I was playing with my friend Brad for a couple days, and he said he was having like multiplayer issues, but playing with him, I didn't really have any issues, and it's just fun playing with your friend and fighting huge monsters in these areas that look amazing because they're on in like much more powerful console than a handheld. So stuff looks great, and the whole world is interconnected. It's not like before they were sectioned off because they couldn't generate this whole world that you could just run through. But yeah, it's a fun game. I would definitely say if you're interested, um, maybe play it with on a friend's console or somebody who owns it. Play it for a little bit, kind of get a feeling for it, and I guess go from there. I mean, I liked it a lot. I love it. Like, and even I switched to a different weapon right in the beginning, and I was like, oh man, I don't know, maybe I should just go to katana because I know how to use it. And I realized I already know how to use it. This is not going to be fun because I'm going to be doing the same combos throughout the whole game. So never mind. I'll just switch. And I switched to a different weapon. It's been pretty good. So I recommend it.
Sweet. I'll probably never play it,
Alright.
but
Yep.
Jesus.
It's like Xenoblade, but action oriented. That's all you want to
I
think
mean,
about.
I mean, does
Xenoblade
it
came after, but
does it have the Xenoblade story? Well, I mean, obviously not the same story, but like
story in the Monster Hunters, it's not. It
Follow
doesn't
this
really
thing,
matter.
kill everything in your wake.
Giant elder dragon. It's causing havoc. Go hunt other monsters because they're being messed up by this other dragon that's been around since the beginning of time.
Is
Don't
there
worry
like
about
a is there a steep learning curve like in the other Monster Hunter games?
Not in the new
Okay.
one.
No,
Okay.
not at all. It's like you could just jump, like pick a weapon you want. I mean, learning some of the weapons there might be, but just pick one. And in the beginning, they give you one of each weapon, just the starter level, so you could just go in and experiment and see which one you like, and then you just
Okay.
go from there. Like, and they made stuff a lot easier. Like before, if you wanted to make a potion out in the field, like if you didn't bring any with you, you'd have to find an herb and a blue mushroom and combine them together. And the whole combining thing was like, you kind of had to learn that. But this one, they reduced the ingredients needed to make stuff, and they auto generate stuff. So if you pick up an herb, it'll instantly turn into a potion because it's better. Unless you have max potions, then it'll stay as an herb. Or if
Okay.
you have potions and you pick up honey, it'll automatically go to a mega potion, like stuff like that. So
Yeah, that sounds convenient.
yeah.
it's just it really is like just go and have fun fighting monsters with your friends. Unless they're not online or you get home from work late and they don't want to play with you. What are we talking about? Monster Hunter, good game. You should play it.
Yeah, I didn't actually realize it was online. So maybe that sounds cool.
I mean, all of them have an online functionality, but because this is on, well, later it'll be on PC, but it's on PS4 and Xbox, and those, online in there is much simpler and easier. So
yeah, online on mobile consoles is bad.
not the best. Yep.
So
Yep.
what you're saying is this game shouldn't be ported to Switch. I'm kidding.
I mean,
Ha.
it draws a lot of stuff from the console. I mean, it does use an older engine. It uses the same engine that Dead Rising 1 was made on, but they heavily
Seriously?
modified it to work. Yeah,
Really?
they heavily modified it. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So graphically, it's not like, oh my god, this is amazing. It looks beautiful though. It looks really nice. But I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't work on the Switch because they got Doom to run on Switch, but it was not the same experience you were getting on the other consoles.
Yeah.
Had to make a lot of cutting corners and stuff like that. It was very smart how they did it, and if you're playing it handheld, it's as best as you're gonna get. But I mean, if you're putting it up on a screen, if you put it in the dock and want to play it sitting down, the experience will be less. I wouldn't say bad, but it'll be less than the other consoles. But I mean, I don't know about Monster Hunter. Like I said, or like we said last week, they claimed they designed for the console the most powerful at the time, which makes sense. So I don't know. Maybe they'll do a special edition of it where they'll cut stuff or manage to keep certain things but remove others. But I don't know. I don't want to speculate. So yeah.
I don't know. Sounds cool, but I have very little to say because I know nothing about Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Oh, I do want to say one thing. If you go online on YouTube and look up Rathalos Waterfall, you can see a lot of people. There's this dragon that you fight, and sometimes there's this area with a dam, and sometimes the dragon will break the dam, and all this water will come and try and push you off the cliff. So the dragon did that to us, but it was like on its last legs, and it spewed fire on the dam and broke it. And it had flew up above the water. And I was out of the way, and my friend Brad was also out of the way. So it's like, okay, well, whatever. But the dragon's about to fly away. That's not good. And I had like this flash. It's called a flash pod. So you can throw it at the dragon, and it'll explode in a bright light, and it'll stun the dragon. And if the dragon is in the air, it'll drop. So I threw that just because I was like, well, why not? It's going to fly away. And it dropped onto the waterfall and fell down the cliff. And I was like, oh, man, there goes the dragon. We have to run after it. And immediately the mission said, objective complete, returning in 1 minute, because that's how much time you have left. And we're like, oh, my God, we have to jump down the cliff right now or else the monster is going to disappear. And we're going to lose all the materials and all that time hunting it. So that was a pretty fun moment. Yeah. And I looked up that kill to see if anybody else did it that way, and nobody else did it that way. They either brought the dragon there and purposely broke the dam, or it just happenstance that they already broke the dam, or yeah. But nobody used the flash pod, and I didn't even use Xbox record that, so I'm pretty pissed.
Why didn't you record it?
You could have been the next Twitch star, YouTube star.
I don't know. I forgot. I didn't have I didn't have a Connect. I couldn't say Xbox record that, or whatever. There's an easy command too. I just never used it before, so I didn't know. You just press the jewel button, so like the Xbox button, and then press X, and it will record the last 30 seconds. And I totally didn't know about that, but oh well. I'll just have to do it again.
And again.
And again.
All right. On to a topic that maybe some more people can contribute to as well. Tropical freeze.
Hey.
I'm not actually sure why
good.
what the topic is here.
Yeah, why are we talking about this?
Oh, I'm kind of surprised you didn't grade that out. I just put that there as a possible topic. I've been playing Tropical Freeze recently. I've been wanting to go through my backlog of video games and anime. And
good luck.
wow.
And this is what you started with?
Good choice. Excellent
What's
choice.
wrong with Tropical Freeze?
No,
It's
no,
a
no,
really
no,
good
no.
game.
Yeah. Let Julian talk. Let Julian talk.
Dark Souls.
No,
I
no,
don't
let him
have
talk.
Dark Souls.
Go on.
Tropical Freeze. It's one of the best platformers I've ever played.
Really good.
I really like the level design. I like the music.
Popopolis.
It can be a bit, I wouldn't say like too hard, but a bit like trial and error at times. You guys get what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I want to be the guy.
I've never played.
Not
on
I wanna
not
be
to
the guy
that
who's
level.
An asshole to you.
A lesser version of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't get stupid, but it has the same idea.
Well, okay, it can get kind of stupid in some of the Kong levels. I'm
Yeah.
referring to Popopolis.
Popopolis is an insane level.
Holy shit!
But to
I
be
mean,
fair,
crap.
that
Excuse
is
me.
actually a bonus level. To be fair, that it's not part
Yeah.
of the core game, so that you don't need to
Popopolis
beat it.
is so it's like a there are very little platforms about Popopolis. like
There's
traverse the
basically none.
Yeah,
And the ones that you
traverse the level
are
through like
on,
jumping on enemies, and you have to time your jump. So like you jump on the enemies at the right time, and you have a higher jump, and you progress further through that method.
yeah,
And it gets ridiculous.
crazy hard.
yeah. I was on that one level for like 2 or 3 hours, I would say, maybe more.
Yeah, that level took me a while. Though
Yeah.
I had other people try it, and
Didn't I beat that for you?
yeah, Mitch beat it in like 20 minutes.
How?
It's actually the first time I played the game too.
Yeah, it was. It was the first time Mitch had ever played the game.
'Cause it's a Nintendo platformer. It's not really all that challenging.
What?
Damn.
Oh.
Popopolis is
I
hard
feel
level.
bad about myself
Play-
now.
Play Super Meat Boy or that other one. I forget its name.
I had less trouble with Super Meat Boy than I did with Popopolis.
I guess I never actually beat it. I just kind of lost interest in the salt world. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's like Okay, the Salt World is
Oh.
stupid.
Haven't actually beaten that game. I should go back and do that.
Never played Super Meat Boy.
I beat it on one of my friend's consoles. It's a pretty good game.
The sequel is coming out this year too.
Oh, yeah.
Julian, you should get that on your computer. It like requires nothing. You just plug a controller in.
Hashtag on the list.
You should get Hollow Knight because that's a really good Metroidvania.
Julian, what if
Should play
what if-
Celeste.
I
What
agree.
if you
Xenoblade.
lost the list?
He's seen Xenoblade played.
Julian, what if you
Xenoblade, yeah.
lost the list? What then?
It's in his head.
It's in my head, yeah.
No, it's
So
not.
he's already lost it.
Tropical Freeze is a good game. You guys should play it.
It
It's
is
a good platformer.
really good platformer. Great game.
Yeah.
Hashtag on the list.
Julian, you gonna get all gold medals on every stage?
No, I refuse to do the time trials. That's impossible.
It's not impossible. I have like 3 golds.
Wow.
Out of like a lot. A lot.
There we go.
Yeah.
I've only done 3 levels out of like, how many levels are in that game? Like 40, 45, maybe more.
I'll get all the Kong letters and I'll get all the puzzle pieces and that's it. That's 100%.
Have you
I'm
done
not
this? Have
going-
you done the secret world or?
No, I didn't beat the game. I'm on World 4. I'm working on it.
Oh, so you're long from 100%ing.
Yeah.
To be fair, so am I. I only probably have like 70%, not including time trials.
Wow.
Time trials are insane.
Yeah, I refuse to do that. It's impossible.
It's not impossible.
Very hard.
It's really hard. It took me like over a month to get a gold on the first level. So
Yeah. I don't know if I can do a gold medal on Papa.
no, that's like one of the easiest ones to get gold on.
Really?
Yeah, because there's no
What do you have to?
like doing the stage normally is pretty fast. Like if you think about it,
Yeah, because it's your first time.
you only get to jump off the enemies one time, so it's not like
Well, some of the enemies.
there's not a lot of
Some of them
time
have,
that you
like-
can actually save. And if you do know
Yeah,
a
there's no
few of the,
checkpoint either.
if you know a few of the time saving strats, you can actually get a gold fairly easily.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's actually not that bad, as long as you're good at the level to begin with.
Either
Alright,
way, I
that's
have other
enough on
games
that.
to play.
Monster Hunter cross Street Fighter.
Don't you lie to me. You have nothing.
This Monster Hunter Cross Street Fighter stuff, I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I haven't like
So there was
really
just
like looked into it. So what
there
is
was
it?
just
Like,
one trailer where they had Ryu and Sakura
Yeah.
in the game,
yeah.
and they were
Sakura.
duking monsters.
Weren't there also screenshots of Monster Hunter skins in Street Fighter 5?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know about that. I just saw the trailer.
Yep, don't
I
know.
remember
For,
seeing
Muscle.
that somewhere on like Shoryuken or some other fighting Facebook page. But yeah, I mean, I think that's cool. I like when Capcom and other companies do that. Just like, oh, here's a costume, have fun. You know, like it totally doesn't look at all like the setting it's in. But I mean, I like it sometimes.
Isn't Monster Hunter in one of the fighting games? I forget which one.
It's an Infinite, or well, she is an
There's a
Infinite.
Monster Hunter
Yeah.
Infinite, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't give her a name. They're just like, you are the Monster Hunter. There you go.
That's the problem with like
If we gave you a name, nobody would know where you're from, so you're just Monster Hunter.
that's the problem with these poster boy fighting games like Smash. They kind of like you get the create your own characters in too many of the games, and it's like, well, I guess Wii Fit Trainer.
Hey, Nintendo actually gave you a create your own character called the Mii Fighter. You get to
Yeah.
customize it and give it equipment and put your own
That's why Xe-
face on it,
That's why there wasn't a Xenoblade 2 character in the game.
or
I
Xenoblade
made
X
a bunch
character.
of variations of Mega Man with those Mii fighters because they made the Mega Man costumes. So I made X. What is it?
Nerd.
Nerd,
What was the other one? X Zero Proto Man. What was the other one?
nerd.
I think it was Star Force. Battle. No, it was Battle Networks. That's what it was. Whatever. They had costumes, and I made Mega Man characters out of them.
Nerd.
Nerd.
Yes. Yes, I am.
All right, Tomb Raider.
Speaking of Mega Man, just real quick, Mega Man. There's
Go for
a
it.
while ago, like a long time ago, there was a manga that came out called Mega Man Mega Mix, and then they did Giga Mix and all these other. Just a continuation of the story. And Mega Mix has been out for a long, long time. I want to say started pre 2000. I could be wrong, but you know it's older art style when you look at it. And Udon Comics, the guys that do the Street Fighter comics and a bunch of other like Darkstalkers and others, they took the Mega Mix comic or manga and put it in English and colored it completely. And now they're releasing that as Master Mix, and it's like an 80-page, or at least the first issue was an 80-page, like what they call big issues, and it's pretty exciting. I didn't get it because I didn't know it started, but you could just buy that off of like FocusAttack.com. They're like an arcade stick parts seller, and now they sell comics and stuff. So I'm probably gonna get Master Mix from them. And it's in my box at the comic store. I told them, "Give me Master Mix, please." And the lady's like, "Okay, Mauricio, don't have to say it like that." And I'm like, "Okay." All right, I'm done. I'm done.
I didn't actually know that there were Mega Man comics of any type.
Oh yeah. So all right. After this, I'll be done. Archie did Mega Man comics for a little while, and then they kind of stopped because I don't really know. They had a bunch of financial issues, and they were trying to reinvent Archie, and so they kind of moved a lot of stuff around. And they didn't outright say they canceled stuff, but they just kind of stopped making issues and haven't been answering anybody's questions about it. And I was at Half Price Books a couple years ago, and I was just going through the M box, looking through for like old Moon Knight issues and stuff, and I found a Mega Man comic that I've never heard of this publisher. I went on the Wikipedia and all the Mega Man wikis and stuff. Nobody's ever talked about this, and it's just like a #1 Mega Man comic. I don't know how long it ran. I don't know anything about it, but I have it, and I haven't read it yet. So it's kind of like my relic that I have. That's like very, very niche Mega Man memorabilia in my collection. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It looks really weird too. The art style is kind of weird.
I just knew there was a Mega Man manga. I didn't know about the Archie comics.
Yeah, like Mega Mix was the manga, and then they did.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'm done.
So Tomb Raider. What Why? What's new with Tomb Raider? I know there was a trailer like a week or two ago.
Did anybody see it since then? Because I
I
think we
saw it.
talked about this last week. Oh,
Yeah,
how
we
was
did.
it?
I think I was the only one who saw it.
Yeah, I
What-
still
did
haven't
it
seen
look
it.
like a cool action movie?
It looks like okay. So I'm not a fan of Tomb Raider. So like,
Mm,
correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like they're taking their inspiration from the newer Tomb Raider games.
makes sense. Yep.
Like stuff about her father in the trailer and some artifact that she needs to collect.
That sounds like
it-
Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it looks cool, I guess. I'm an outsider looking in on this, so I don't have that great of an opinion. But yeah, I mean, it's also a video game movie, so I have reservations.
Is
I mean,
it?
I don't think they treat. I don't think they'll treat it as such. I think they'll kind of the character and do what they will with it because I mean, Tomb Raider's so broad. It's just like here's a this treasure hunt looking for an artifact and probably somebody else is looking for it, so she has to fight to get it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's how the other two Tomb Raider movies.
yeah. You saw the other Tomb Raider movies, right? Like, how were they?
I mean, I was really young when I saw them, and by really I mean like middle school or elementary school. It's been a while,
Yeah.
but I thought they were. I mean, again, I was a kid, so I thought they were kind of cool. They were. I mean, they're action movies, so as long as the action's okay, it really doesn't matter. But I thought they were all right. Looking back, I'm sure there was some corny stuff, but it was still kind of cool seeing. I don't know. I'm a sucker for like ancient, like ruins and stuff that's really old, and people are trying to figure out where it comes from or why it existed. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'll probably see this movie. That'd be cool.
I might see it. Maybe
Yeah.
again.
Yep.
Yep.
I still haven't seen the trailer. I don't know anything about Tomb Raider. I'm not your guy.
So I mean, what I'll say is the last two Tomb Raider games that came out, like the reboot series, have been. I thought they were met with like pretty wide
Appeal.
praise.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were because they totally reinvented it, and it was made. I'm pretty sure it was made by Insomniac, and those guys make good games, like Ratchet and
Oh, it was
Clank and a
Square
bunch
Enix.
of others. Was it Square Enix? I don't know.
What now?
Well, who made the last Tomb Raiders, like the
Oh.
reboot series?
Hold
It
on,
was
I
Insomniac.
can check my Steam library.
How many hours you have logged on? 0.
On Tomb Raider 0? Alright.
I have $5 on Insomniac.
Tomb Raider store page.
Because I remember Funhouse, they did an episode
Published
with
by
it.
Square Enix. That's all. The rest of them
But,
are.
God, but who made it?
It was
who
like
developed it?
Crystal something.
Darn it. Alright, never mind.
Crystal
my money,
Dynamics
Mauricio.
and Feral Interactive.
I have no
Where
idea
is
why
my
I
money?
thought- You didn't shake on it. Oh well. Alright, Tomb Raider looks cool. Next.
Overwatch balance changes?
Oh, this is the best thing they've ever done to the game.
All right, Mitch,
In-
take it away.
Since the game's inception, they've been plagued by the Mercy mains. They only play Mercy. They don't learn the game. They just one trick their way to the top. And then
That's how you do it.
you get two of them on the same team, and then you just lose automatically because whoever doesn't get Mercy can't play. They nerfed Mercy, so she isn't required in the meta. So if someone has Mercy, or or if your team doesn't have a Mercy, it's not an automatic loss, and you're not forcing all the scrub to one trick Mercy will no longer climb. It's just really the best. And fuck Junkrat for whatever reason. He got nerfed too. No one really gets it, but
That's how it goes sometimes. Like Puff in Smash 4. Or Greninja. Sometimes you just gotta nerf
Has it-
somebody who you're just mad at.
has it been 3 hours since I nerfed Greninja? I better check again.
Mary, you're the other Overwatch player of the group here. What you got?
So they keep messing with Mercy, which is fine.
Good.
I mean, I
She
don't
takes
really
no
see.
skill and does the most work. It's ridiculous.
Right. I thought it was interesting because I watched this video the other day of like Overwatch Pro players saying which character they'd want to have kicked out of the game, and they all said Mercy. And I don't know, like I like her because she allows people who wouldn't really be into games like this to kind of get comfortable with playing games like
Well,
this, and
those people are never gonna be. They're never gonna be affected by these nerfs.
that's true.
'Cause
Yeah,
what
that's
nerf or not, they're gonna be able to get that experience with Mercy.
So
That
as
is
far
true.
as
That's true.
is Fire Mercy not a thing anymore?
I
Uh,
think it probably still
there's-
is.
yeah.
There's plenty of material online,
Hey,
art and stuff.
Is that all, Mitch?
I mean, I personally, if I had to pick a character to kick out of the game, I would pick Roadhog because
I
I
hear
hate
that's a
his
lot of
look.
people's number 2.
Roadhog
He
I-
already
represents-
did that.
didn't he get
He's,
put in the
he's not
dirt?
in
Is
the
he
game
trash
anymore.
now?
Yeah, he-
Roadhog is representative of all the bigger
Tattoos.
males like me. Okay, Roadhog for life.
That's right. Didn't Roadhog?
Yeah, but
Roadhog got
he-
like nerfed into the ground, didn't he?
If you
Yeah.
get rid of Roadhog, what other
Yeah.
fat characters are there in the game?
Got deleted
Zarya.
from the
Zarya.
meta.
May.
Zarya? Maybe, yeah.
Sorry.
She's thick.
Kinda.
He's
She's
just
bulky.
big.
She's
Wait,
huge.
Zarya? Does Zarya
She's
like
muscle.
exist? Like,
Muscle and fat are two
No,
different.
see, Zarya. Well, Zarya is a character that takes skill to use, so you don't see a lot of her.
okay, yeah, I heard
Yeah, that
she
makes
was like
sense.
bad or something.
Does she take skill though? You don't really have to aim. Like, I mean, kind of.
Well, you have to know when to throw up your shield. Like, are you gonna use it to absorb an ult? Are you gonna use it to absorb random bullets? Are you gonna
And
save
the-
your team with it? Or
The ult isn't that good in pubs because you have to actually like coordinate it.
yeah, and then
But,
And who
like,
wants to do that?
and then
You
her
can still.
bullets they only do damage when she's got charge, and you have to. Sometimes you don't get the charge because you're busy saving your teammate from a Rhine charge, or some random Pharah ult.
She has one of those ults where if you like panic, it still is an effective ult. I feel.
Hers?
Yeah. Whereas
can be.
like other characters,
Her
like
ult is really easy to profit off of.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Unlike
got you
something
can.
unlike something like Pharah or I don't know, Junkrat, it's you need communication. and
Right.
Your team needs to be with you. Or maybe
Yeah.
May. Although
I
did-
never
found out
communicate
recently-
with my team.
Yeah, that's not a good thing to admit to.
Yeah.
And then there's Moira.
I love Moira. I love her.
And needs to nerf that JPEG.
I mean, yeah, but
And then
also
there's Doomfist. Fix his bugs without making more, please.
Doomfist.
He
Doomfist
is
is
the
kind of
buggiest
useless.
character in the game.
Yeah,
Eh,
for sure.
Does every day or every week on the subreddit, the same guy posts the same thread documenting all of his bugs and how they are created. They'll fix like 2 or 3 of his list of 15 and then create 6 more.
That's amazing.
And it's funny because he was so hyped up too. Like, and everybody was looking forward to Doomfist and who is this Doomfist character, and like nobody plays as him because
Remember the hype around Doomfist, and I don't hear about
I mean,
that
he's
character
terrible.
anymore.
He's terrible
Yeah.
in high play, but in low level, he's fun. He's just like the Scrub Slayer. Because you can one-shot a bunch of people. And then because people are bad, they won't punch you for it or dodge it. It's like, "Doom is so overpowered. He stood there for 3 seconds, charged up, and then hit me into a wall I was standing next to."
that reminds me. So like I'm a bronze player, as most of you know.
You shouldn't admit to
And-
that either.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's
hype.
true. And I was so low at some point that I played a game where the Torbjorn never leveled up his turret and just like ran around. Like, and I kept trying to like tell him like, hey, like hit your turret with your hammer, and he was like completely ignoring me and just like doing his own thing. I don't know if he was trolling, but I really don't think he was because
And this was
Mary,
ranked.
I don't want to be mean, but I'm sure you were very forceful with your suggestions.
Well,
You
I was
said
just
you said
typing.
you don't communicate with your teammates, and I can only imagine. Excuse me, could you
Here's-
please? You need to upgrade your turret. I just And then
Here's how I see the response. The Torb hears that and goes, "Oh my god, a grill!"
I
Well,
could see that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've never had that actually in Overwatch, but I have had
What?
like I did
We're
have
making a Mario
hey,
Kart
Julian,
app.
we're progressing in the world. Now a girl
I
playing
did-
video
Oh,
game
this
is
is the internet though.
I did have some
what?
kid
That's
who like
different.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, go on, Mary.
no, he
Sorry.
like I think he was hitting on me. I'm not entirely sure, but it was kind
It's
of
not hitting on
awkward
you.
because
Yeah.
Did he
Yeah, you
sound
probably-
older than 13?
yes. But like I
Oh.
wasn't like I never talk on the microphone. I always just type because I'm too anxious to like actually talk to
Okay.
people. So like I was just we were playing in a group and then everybody else left and then like he just like stayed. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'll just like continue playing because we had been winning games up to that point. So I was like, whatever. And so then I stayed and he was like, it's really fun playing with you. And I was just like I like didn't say anything. I was like, okay.
Did you
And-
give him your number, Mary?
No, but it was just like really awkward. I'm
Let's
like
be
I'm just-
Overwatch buddies. Here's my.
You could have
contact
made
info.
his
Yeah,
day.
no, he tried to add me and I was just like, nope, I'm gonna leave.
Well, the
So
poor
wait,
dude
you
just
didn't
wanted to
talk
have
it
some
on, like,
some
a-
good games.
You didn't speak to him with a mic or anything. You were typing the whole time.
I was just typing to everybody.
How did he know that you were like a
Maybe
girl and
he
was
didn't know.
Well, because my
Well,
username
her-
is Mary Berry.
Yeah, the tag is still the same.
like, so that could be.
Yeah, that could
Okay.
be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
yeah, I could.
people
I
just
could
assume.
be a guy.
They're willing to take that 50-50.
Maybe the kid just legitimately wanted to have some friends to play Overwatch with.
I mean,
Maybe.
You should like experiment and voice chat in Overwatch and see how many like people try to add you as friends.
I'm
Nah,
pretty
she's-
sure we're
she's
past
in
that
bronze,
point.
it's
I
fine.
mean,
I disagree.
like back in high school on the 360, playing like Halo and stuff. That's definitely happened. Like, oh, it's a girl voice. Oh, we gotta add her. Oh, you know,
That still happens.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
what
nature of Xbox, though. I've noticed
Yep.
that play on Xbox, which has only been a few times, I always get like the strangest reactions that make me really uncomfortable. When I play, like I don't know, they say things like, "Oh, like get back in the kitchen." Like they'll just like make dumb jokes. I mean, it's mostly
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah,
but
classic
like
Xbox.
that
That
sounds like
sounds like
that,
Xbox.
that sounds like teenagers in
Classic
Xbox.
young
Yeah,
It's
boy on an
weird.
Xbox. Nope,
I'm
that's
like,
normal.
I don't
That's
want to play this.
yeah. That sometimes happened to me when I would talk on Xbox Live because I had a higher
They
pitched
would tell you
voice
to
when
get
I
in the
was
kitchen?
younger.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
I had a higher pitched
No, you're,
voice.
fine.
Yeah.
You're joking.
I'm not joking. I used to have a really high pitched voice.
Jake, oh my gosh. Okay, when I was playing, there was one time that I was playing Payday 2 and I'm not very good at Payday 2, mind you, like but like
hmm
I was playing with a bunch of people who had just started the game and I was kind of directing them on what to do and they like I was talking on the microphone and they really didn't like that. And I was like put the bags in this room and they're like and then at some point they all died, like all of them died. And so I was like running around like reviving them and they were like you're not even old enough to play this game, wait till your balls drop, kid. And then they kicked me out. I was like,
Okay, so at least they didn't know you were a girl. They were like making fun of you for being like a young boy. That's fine.
yeah, I was like, wait, but I was reviving you, like what? Shoot.
Wait, you said this was on Xbox?
No, this was on PC and this was on
Oh.
in Payday 2.
Interesting.
And I haven't yeah. So
PC is not a barrier to children. There's plenty of them on PC.
Oh yeah,
I don't know,
especially like if you play like like some of the game modes in Gary's mod, there it was just like full of children. It was pretty bad.
Interesting.
CS:GO has the same problem.
Does it really? That's nuts.
Yeah, I believe it.
I
Have you ever heard the CS:GO copy pasta pretty much, where some guy's just playing a game and you can hear another kid being screamed at by his mom?
Yeah.
Wait,
No.
what?
No, I haven't heard that.
It's I'll see if I can dig it up, but it's a classic.
This was a creepy pasta?
oh copy pasta.
the
Copy.
copy
A
pasta.
copy
Oh,
pasta.
okay. Sorry.
I don't know, a meme. Or, so people will start posting random quotes from that. It's great. See if I can find it. Carry on.
I have played a couple games in Overwatch where I play with kids. I mean, being in bronze, that happens. But it's kind of funny because they'll they'll yell to their moms, and it's funny, especially when they try to call shots too, because it's like, okay, kids, like.
That's the weirdest thing. I never understood that because even when I was little on Xbox, I knew that hey, my mic has an off switch. I can switch it off and talk to my mom like, hey, whatever. You know, I'm playing a game with friends. Okay, whatever. Flip it back on, and nothing happened. I don't
Yeah.
understand why kids don't see that switch and think, you know what? No. I want people to hear me yelling at my mom because I just what is first off, when little kids yell at their parents, it drives me nuts because it's like what I don't know. It just,
Oh, it's
I get
your
shot
life
if
can't
I
be
make
that
that
bad.
post.
People have been slapped on stream before. This happened.
This kid was too.
it's cute when they'll be like, "Oh, I have to go eat dinner." It's like,
That's fine.
it's cute.
I don't know why, but I just had this image in my head of like if Mary has kids and they're playing games, she'll just grab the mic and be like, "Sorry, he has to go eat. He'll be back." I don't know why. Oh man.
Mm.
Right.
I
So
feel
what
like I will. Oh, okay. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
just you continue. I was just trying to get to the next topic, but you had something to say.
No, it would be fun to have boys because, like, I don't know. I feel like you don't have to worry about them as much. Like, well, I mean, they get into trouble.
no.
Like,
I'm just laughing because like
They're
My
never
mom
mother
has
says the
been
same thing.
Yep.
my mom
Yeah.
has the same sentiment. Like boys, you don't have to worry about boys. They don't bother you. They're very easy to, they entertain themselves.
Yeah, my
I
dad,
don't know why
I'm
my
getting
mom.
deja vu.
my dad says, my dad said something similar, like, "Oh man, like you were way easier to raise than your sister." I'm like, Jesus.
All right. I swear I thought it was just like my mom's whole thing of like her, all of her opinions on women in general. I just thought like, oh, okay, whatever, mom, sure, boys are great, whatever. That's funny hearing that from like everyone.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
That's awesome.
That's pretty
I mean,
sad,
like,
actually.
I know I
Girls
wasn't
are
the
harder to
easiest
raise.
to raise, so and my sister as well. Like, she's like, I feel like girls also they go through all of these different phases and emotions, and it's just a huge roller coaster.
I definitely
where
went through
it's,
phases.
Like, well, yeah, but like, I don't know.
Hey, sometimes little kids, boys, they're like, I got to go through my phase of I want to play sports, but I'm bad at it, and then they all go to video games because why not?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I think I was pretty easy
Actually,
kid
that
to
was kind
raise.
of my experience a little bit. Not with
Yeah.
sport. Well, kind of with
That was pretty
sports.
easy.
Yeah, like I had my moments. Like sometimes I would
Yeah.
just torment my sister and stuff, but it happened. So they had to deal with that crap. But like,
Yeah, my
otherwise-
sister and I
otherwise it
used
was
to beat
easy.
up each other.
What?
Yeah, see, my sister
Well, we
couldn't
d-
fight back because I was like twice her size and it's her age.
It was
Hold
like
on.
petty.
Whoa.
Like, we'd bite each other. Like,
Wait,
Oh,
what?
What?
okay.
yeah, we'd bite, we'd
Story
scratch.
time with Mary.
You'd bite and scratch.
See,
Yeah.
when I was little,
and we'd
I know.
tackle each other. And pin each
Oh,
other
okay,
to the
it's-
ground.
Tackling is okay. That's a fight.
Okay.
My sister, she was always like stronger than me, even like when I was young.
She's
and
younger than you.
Yeah, she's younger than me, but she was always stronger. Okay, not
She was-
always, but
whoa.
like at a certain point, she became stronger than me, and I could no longer tackle her. She was the one tackling me. So then I was like, okay, no more of this. I'm too fragile.
Wow.
It's not how the world works, Very. Gotta take it.
No, it's not fun.
See, when I was little, I had to dodge both the dog and my brother from trying to kill me.
Oh, that's
and they
awesome.
They both wanted to kill me. And mind you, this is before I could even walk.
Wait,
They were trying to kill me.
Oh,
See, that was my
that's so
cousins.
sad.
My cousins
Like,
wanted
my
to
mom
kill
took
me.
a shower once. Biggest mistake of her life. My brother got all the basketballs out of the garage and started chucking them into my crib, trying to kill me.
what the
Oh my
hell?
god,
What?
that's actually
Okay.
awful.
And
What did the
tried-
dog do?
It tried to strangle me a couple times.
Aw.
Almost bit my nose off.
Whoa.
I had a rough
Mm.
childhood. I can't remember any of it. I'm just told this all happened.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not that bad.
The
See, my cousins used to like play this game where like one of us would usually me, you'd like lay down on the couch, right? And then they'd get all the
Yeah.
blankets and
I don't
pillows
like
in the
where this is going.
house and stack them all on top of you, right? So you get this giant mound of blankets and pillows, so you can't see and stuff. You can't really breathe all that well either. And then everyone sits on top of the pile, and then you have to try to get the pile off of you.
Huh.
And
Huh.
yeah, there were
Jesus.
definitely some like
Actually,
moments of
Mitch.
panic or terror where like you're like freaking out and kind of short on breath and stuff, and they just kind of laugh.
my
No,
sister
that
and I
sounds
would
like
do that.
Yeah, I don't have those
Not the
stories.
sitting on top of each other part, but we would just pile things on top of each other, like pillows and blankets, and for like no reason. Like
Yeah.
we didn't do the sitting on top of each other. We just did that. It was like,
See, it's fine until you put like double your weight on top of you, and then
yeah. I made her sleep in my closet.
um, Mary, what?
I was like,
Explanation, please.
it was like a little walk-in closet, and I was like, Jenny, do you want to have a sleepover? And then she was like, yeah. And then I'd like have her sleep in the closet, and I'd like close the door on her, and and it was just that was it.
Oh, I don't see anything wrong with that. That sounds
No,
like
it
normal
was
kid
fun.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the way
I
it
would
was
do it
phrased.
sometimes.
Like, oh, I'd make her sleep in the closet.
Well,
You made, yeah, she made it
Yeah.
sound like.
I
she was
imagine
abused.
like a small ass closet where she can't like lay down all the way. She just like
No,
half
no, no,
sitting,
no.
half laying,
Curls
like
over on the side.
The,
right. She's
Futurama
using
robot
some like
houses.
shirts and stuff as a blanket, and she's really cold.
No, I made her comfortable in there. There was like a sleeping bag.
Quietly,
like-
quietly
pillows.
sobbing in the closet.
I made that very comfortable.
I've had a childhood disease. I fell out of my crib once, and I almost drowned, and like that's it. I don't
Ooh.
have these stories where like, I was playing with my cousins, and we all like decided each other to see who couldn't breathe or something like that.
It was not that see who couldn't breathe.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That wasn't the point of the game. But see, the thing is,
Y'all
they
crazy.
didn't think, they thought I was like full of it because they're like, no, we don't have trouble breathing. Well, it's like, yeah, but you're like twice my size.
Yeah.
So like, you guys have more space down there. You're stronger. You can easily lift the blankets off. Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you so
But
much.
like, I was
Sorry.
like always the runt because I was probably weighed like 60 pounds at this point in time, and they weigh like 100 pounds. So
Wow, that sounds like me and all my other friends. I was the heaviest, and it was funny because I was like taller than most of my friends at that age, and now we're all like pretty much about the same height. But it was just funny because I was much taller, and I was always bigger. So whenever they would play games like that, I was always like, all right, whatever.
see, I
That's
was
cool.
the opposite. I was always significantly smaller than everyone. Now I'm like the same height as everyone else, but like I like entered high school at under 5 feet tall, so like I
Nice.
was
I think
I
I
actually
did
have
too.
this.
I was
I
short for
actually
a
have this
long
picture
time.
of me, two of my friends, and then one of my like friends that we met there. Like I never knew him. And I'm like towering above the rest of them. Like I have my arm over my friend's shoulder, like kind of resting on his shoulder. I'm just so much taller. And for years, my mom referred to him as Little Tyler, just because he was so much shorter than me. And now
Aw.
it's like She still calls him Little Tyler, but he's my height. It's like, Mom, you can't do that anymore. Like, yeah, he's thinner than me, and I guess you could say little, but no, he's the same height as me. Like,
See, I was always there was another guy in my high school whose name was the same as mine. He was also named Jake Freeman, and it was funny because
That
like
kind of
he was 6'4", and I was like 5'1". So we had and we were in the same class once because he was only 2 years above me, and the teacher like desperately wanted to take a picture of us together, like they're like because we told him we told everyone that we were brothers, of course, even though we have absolutely no relation, but we would tell people we're brothers, and most people wouldn't believe us. Cause
well, no. What parent would name both of their
Name-
kids the same name?
but we had the same last name, so
is
Whatever.
somewhat believable.
no,
One is Jake
no.
one
It
and
was
the other's
different. I
Jake
was
two.
Jacob. He was Jake. It was a little bit different.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, we were brothers. We were just looked absolutely nothing alike. We were both white though, so like or white
Was his hair
skin.
color different too? Oh,
No, we had the same
yeah,
colored
what
hair.
did this guy look like?
We had like the same colored. He looked like a short-haired, much bigger version of me. He was like a football player, significantly taller than me, significantly more muscular than me. He could probably throw me, like one-handed. But like otherwise, we didn't really look. I don't know. White skin, brown hair. That's it. Anywho, we want to move on to our next topic.
Sure.
Ew.
All right. So thoughts on backwards compatibility. I'm not sure if anyone actually has some thoughts on this. It was just something we kind of threw
Just
out there.
in general, or
It's something I typed.
Yeah, like does it feel like it's a requirement for a new console? Should a new console have
Not
backwards
anymore.
compatibility with the last one?
Yeah, I think so. I prefer it.
I disagree.
I don't think it should be required. I think it was just back then it was kind of a novelty because the PS2 like did that. And then with the 360 it was like, oh, we'll just do that for the Xbox, and PS3 kind of kept the trend going. I don't really think that matters anymore. I mean, my Xbox One is cool because I could play a majority of my 360 games, and there's even some Xbox original games that you can buy digitally and play. But I don't really. No, I think we could live without it. I mean, it really
mean-
depends because I kept my 360, so I can play all my 360 games, and that backwards compatibility has an even bigger backlog of Xbox originals that I could play. And I even have the Wii U around because I can still play Wii games that I missed out years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's convenient. It's nice if you're a gamer and you want to play old games that you missed out on. But I think with the next console coming up, I wouldn't be.
It
sad
got to
if
the
it wasn't
point
there.
where they just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, I agree with Mauricio.
I mean,
I
kind
think
of.
so.
They're like,
They could either put a PS3 inside of it and make the thing look huge, or
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
I mean now
you
they're
can't make an emulator because the PS3 is not is not incredibly weak. So the PS4 isn't so much stronger than the PS3 that it's going to run a PS3. The PS4 isn't so much stronger that it can run a PS3 emulator. So
even then PS3
Right.
is like one of the hardest consoles to emulate. Like,
Yeah,
of
so
recent times. It's not going to get emulated anytime soon.
it's just not an option anymore. That's
Well, I mean, it kind of is in a way.
Yeah, that's a good point that you
'cause-
made, Laron. Actually, talking technical.
Well, I mean,
good.
because like PCs, right? They are
Uh-huh.
extremely backwards compatible, right? And it's
that-
because
mean,
of how
Does
they're.
that count as backwards compatibility?
I mean, sure, in a
Yeah,
way.
PCs
kinda.
follow the same architecture.
I mean, every OS is
Yeah.
pretty much a new console.
Yeah, but
Okay.
most games that ran on Windows 7 will run on Windows 10 just fine. Like
yeah,
without-
even
without
if
much
you
of
wanna
an
go back
issue.
farther than that, like I have a couple XP games and even 95 games that
that's still
now
wrong.
I can play on Windows 10, and it's generally it's okay. I mean, maybe there's some bug fixes that I can get from someplace. For the most part, they're okay. Or you could find a fix for it or you can even DOS games. You could just get an emulator like DOS and play them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel
but
like
PC is an entirely different animal.
yeah,
Because, like,
but consoles are sort of heading in that direction. Like that, like they're kind of
Yes,
showing
they
it with
are.
like Xbox and PlayStation are both already doing like this like upgraded consoles that can play like the
Yeah.
same format of games, but it just like with more
But better.
power, more rendering capability and
Yeah.
stuff. Like they're not actually
Yeah.
like they're creating scalable architectures. Like video games on consoles aren't tied to these architectures anymore. It's not like, oh, you have to compile the game for this specific CPU and it needs to, take advantage of these specific console exclusive graphics features and all this. Like nowadays they're basically just throwing graphics cards and CPUs in these boxes. And
Besides the Switch.
the Switch is doing it. That's all the Switch is basically an Nvidia Shield.
Oh.
Like it's running an
Much
Nvidia
better.
Tegra GPU. So like any game that you can build for like OpenGL or DirectX or whatever can run on the Switch. So, well, not DirectX, but like you get my point. Standard open.
So there's hope for it
frameworks.
to come back.
I was gonna say DirectX. That means I could play Halo and Halo 2.
Yeah,
on
no.
Switch.
There's not gonna be DirectX on the Switch ever. But
I
that
want
being said,
somebody to-
the GPU on
I
it
want
does
a mod.
support it. So if you can mod some Windows onto there, then you're good.
Oh man, that would be so cool.
I think it
So
would
there- so you're
not run
optimistic.
Windows well.
Hasn't Switch modding already like happened?
Yeah.
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 Oh really?
Yeah, people are modding the Switch. Yeah, they've been modding the Switch for like a year. Nintendo doesn't
Yeah.
know how to secure their consoles. What are
what-
you kidding?
What have they been doing with it, like specifically?
I know there are people who installed Linux on the things.
Why?
Just to do it. I mean, I don't know
Do you
what
the PS2 had an official Linux that you could buy for it.
the PS2 had a Linux you could like on a disc.
Yeah, it was a Linux disk for the PS2, and you could get a mouse and keyboard as well, and you could connect the PS2 to the internet, and it was a Linux. It was like a Linux PC.
That's utterly bizarre.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was a lot of weird stuff back then that we didn't know about. Like apparently there was a PlayStation emulator for the PC. Like you would install it, and then
Like an
Like, put a
official
pl-
one, you mean?
it was made by some company, and it had a weird name like Bazoom or something like that. It was really really weird. And you could install it, whatever, and then put in a PS1 disc and play it. It ran terrible, but still, like it existed, and that's like kind of an interesting like artifact you could find. It's like, oh wow, why have I never heard of this? Oh, because it was bad, but it's still like interesting to look at and think like, wow, the market was way different back then. You could do whatever.
I mean, now there are like decent emulators out there for like most consoles that you care about.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy for PC.
Like my PSP, I could just play PS1 back, except for N64 because it wasn't powerful.
Though some consoles are like stupidly hard to emulate, or like won't be emulated anytime soon.
So you have some optimism that they could possibly bring it back, bring backwards compatibility
So like,
to consoles.
yeah, I do.
But well, they've already normalized not doing it anymore, so why would they
Yeah.
bother?
Well, because I don't think like Sony and like Xbox or Microsoft in particular, they're like the Xbox One. Like this is the last Xbox like platform we will ever release. Like from this point
Wait.
forward, everything is just going to be upgraded Xbox Ones, basically.
Oh, okay.
So like you'll have more and more powerful consoles, and maybe eventually there will be games that will come out that will have like a minimum spec of some Xbox level. But they're
That's
basically
weird to
turning
think
them into gaming PCs that are only for gaming and are a little cheaper.
Microsoft could have a bigger chance because they're really milking this on Xbox One and Windows 10 thing.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so awesome. That's like I've actually used that before, like on my little GPD Win like pocket laptop thing. And my Xbox was in another room, and my sister was watching something on TV. I was like, I don't want to take the TV. I'll just see if I could stream it to my thing, and it worked, and it works everywhere. It's so cool. I love that functionality. And even like you could buy a game on Xbox and you could play it on play the PC version for free, that's awesome. Like if I had a powerful enough PC, I would totally play Killer Instinct on the PC.
Yeah, I mean that kind of stuff is cool too. But I mean, like Sony's already kind of doing that same, like the PS4 Pro being just like the 4K version of the PS4. Like it plays the same games, but it has
Also,
better frame rates, better graphics.
It's just a standard upgrade though. Like all console manufacturers. do
Yeah, but
that
that's
at
new.
some point in their
I mean, there
lifetime.
was never
That is-
like an
it is kinda
upgraded
new.
version in the past.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
this is the
even with
new.
the PS3 and 360. It was like the 360 Slim was just it had a faster had a more hard drive space, and it was like a smaller form factor, and there wasn't really anything else. And I don't know about the PS3 versions. I haven't really. looked
The
into
main
it.
thing is that both those consoles had fatal flaws, so
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
they fixed them after a few years.
Oh yeah, that's right. The red ring. I forgot about that.
And the yellow thing on PlayStation.
Yeah. Those consoles were hardware disasters. But
Yep.
like especially because like the internals of consoles are becoming more and more PC like with time. I mean,
Mhm.
basically the PS4 and the Xbox, even the Xbox One X, they more or less have off the shelf parts in them. Like you could build that as a computer with like the same
Yeah.
hardware, just about. So like they don't like
Yeah,
backwards
you could open them up
compatibility.
and
That like
switch
there
out the hard
isn't
drives
a
and
reason not to be able to have backwards compatibility necessarily, because it's just evolution of PC hardware basically at this point, which is
Huh.
sort of a sign of the death of consoles, because it shows that they can't really squeeze, because consoles used to do clever stuff to squeeze extra performance in a way PCs couldn't. Now they're not getting away with that so much anymore. Like they still have weaker
Right.
processors for the most part, but even then they're not getting away with that, because they're adding all these features like streaming and all that other stuff, so they have to put beefier CPUs in these consoles that they didn't ever have to before. So they're becoming more and more PC-like as they try to give them PC-like capabilities.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I am optimistic for the backwards compatibility future, because they'll just kind of get
Yeah.
it for free. Like the only reason they would lock out backwards compatibility is to try to sell more consoles, which they might do. But who's to say for sure?
Yes, you had the opinion that like consoles are just becoming more like PCs. You
Well,
know,
they
it's-
are.
It's
They
like a sign of the time. Is what I was trying to.
Yeah. And I think backwards compatibility might come along with that, just because it helps them to compete with PCs. But they maybe don't want to do that, the more I think about it, because people don't upgrade their PCs very often. So maybe they'd rather obsolete their consoles arbitrarily. Who knows? I guess it depends on if the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X make a killing or not.
I mean,
The Pro's been out
is coming
for a
close to
while,
outselling the PS4 in
Yeah.
terms of year one sales.
Who
Oh.
said what now? Outselling what?
The Switch is close to outselling PS4 in terms of
Oh,
year
wow.
one sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's a decent
So-
little thing to talk about here. The Switch has now significantly surpassed Wii U sales.
That's not surprising.
Wii U total
Well,
lifetime.
I don't know if you know this, but the Switch is actually a good console.
The Switch is
I think the Wii U had potential.
the Wii U has
And what
great-
potential means nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Switch has
Yeah,
some good
potential
games on
means
it.
Nothing when the console's dead. When it's when
No,
it's
I mean
around,
potential means nothing if it's never.
I
Right.
mean, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's still kind of
That's some
amazing.
motivational stuff.
The Wii U was out for a long time. You know, it had a 5-year run.
It had
And
no games for 2 years.
I'm saying it had a 5 years. It sold 1 million less than the Switch has sold in under a year. which is kind of incredible.
It's not surprising. Nintendo marketed it poorly. It had no games for a while. Huge game droughts.
Yeah. But it had a screen that you could take to the bathroom.
So does the Switch.
You could play Wind Waker HD and Weave Universe, whatever that game was called, and
I
New
actually
Super
did
Mario
use that.
Bros.
Nintendo.
I
one?
actually did use that function.
Yeah,
on the Wii
that.
U, 'cause I think my mom was watching something on TV, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just use the screen." And I was
See, I
like,
have a
"Hey,
Yeah.
look at that."
computer that I don't share with anyone, so
Yeah, I don't have the problem with
if only I
sharing
could
screens
live
with
in your
people.
world, Mitch. If only I could live in your world where I have an awesome PC and I could just
Well.
have it. It's all mine.
I live in near poverty, so
But
closer than you think. Just get a graduate stipend for $20,000 a year, and just split a room with 4 people. You'll be golden.
Mm.
I'm okay. I like my job.
that sounds awful.
But you have a job?
Yes. What? Did you?
Wait, how do you have a job and not have enough money to buy a computer?
No, I'm just saving because I'm like I don't need a computer right now because at my work
Wait,
I
is it
have
a
a
real
computer
job or?
there. Yeah, I'm an engineer.
He has a real job.
Oh, you're not like, not
I'm
like
a
Julian
field
and Steve.
service engineer. Okay, I'm using my degree. It's hype
Good.
as hell. Yeah,
Wait,
it's
go tell
great.
Julian to do that. He needs to
It
hear
only took 4 months of my family members getting upset at me for not having a job, and then my drunk cousin going off on me on Thanksgiving, and then 2 days before Christmas Eve, I got a call back, and they're like, "We have a job for you," and I'm like, "Oh, I'll take it. I'll take it. Don't even tell me the rest. I'll take it." And I don't have to cut my hair, and I don't have to wear a uniform. Just come in, do the work. Everybody's nice. All right, I'm done. It's a great company.
No, that's congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you, Mitch.
All right.
I've been working
Anyway,
there for about 5 weeks now.
I
I
think we've
haven't
gotten
spoken to you since
a
then,
little off
or
the backwards
very much.
compatibility thing, and we might as well just move past it. I think we know
Alright,
how
I
everyone
like-
feels at this point.
I like backwards compatibility. If they can do it and not spend a boatload of money on it, that'd be cool.
I like it, but it's not necessary.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna put on it? Like a 360 games on an Xbox One? Just buy a 360.
Yeah.
Why would I do that when I can play them on my Xbox One?
I'm just saying, if you couldn't, the 360s are still cheap.
Listen,
they're
exclusives
dirt
just
cheap.
need to
Actually-
die.
Pass me a 360. I need that.
Dude, real quick, Laron, did you not take advantage of the Black Friday sale? GameStop had
Free? Yeah, it was free with the mail-in rebate.
$60 360s, and then you mail in the rebate, and they give you the $60.
See that
back.
I didn't feel like doing all that, and you don't get $60. You get a prepaid Visa $60 card. It's just like worth.
Whatever.
That's as
free-
good as cash. What?
you can use
Nah,
that
nah,
It's a-
nah,
it's a
nah.
free thing.
Nah.
I thought you were gonna say it was like
Nah.
Use
GameStop
that
credit
for
or something.
anything.
No, if it was GameStop credit, it'd be a scam.
Oh, I'm sorry, Laron. You
How
couldn't
would
go
that
to the
even be
club
a
with your
scam?
prepaid Visa and
Yeah.
scan it on the stripper.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Are you kidding me? That's what kept you? The rebates are so easy. You fill out the form, you put the receipt, you mail it, you're done. $60.
Yeah.
That's
I
$60.
should've done that.
That's a better hourly rate than like any job.
Then you could have been like, "Yo, Mauricio, I needed some cool games," and I'll be like, "I have."
I literally only want to play Vesperia and Lost Odyssey. That's the only reason.
Oh well, whatever. Get out of here.
Well, it's free. Whatever. All right.
I almost took advantage of that because I have the original Model 360. Well, I have the Elite, which was like the better one, but still, it was like the original.
This was a refurbished original.
No, it wasn't. It was a Slim.
Most originals are broken by now.
No.
Mine is. I had Red Ring once, sent it in, fixed it. It's been running ever since. That's like an 11. No,
Nice.
it's a
See, I did that.
13-year-old console, and it's still running fine.
Did that 3 times and then just never sent it
Oh,
back.
shit.
Bought a Slim.
I sent it in right before they stopped making it free, so it would have been $100, but it's still my 360 still holds up, and I still play it because it has the back catalog of arcade games is worth getting a 360 alone. Like all the old arcade
And
fighters.
it's another system you can own Super Meat Boy on.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. And Castle Crashers.
Every system I own, I have Super Meat Boy on. I don't know why.
And
I just
Ikaruga.
accumulate them. I don't pay for them. I just
I
get
had
them.
a 360, and got Red Ring to trade it in for PS3.
Choice, good choice.
Sounds about right.
That's the
And then
right
your
thing to do.
PS3's, and now your PS3's dead. And
I
Really?
never had any of
Not
those
dead.
consoles until
You
I
know,
got a
the first batch
PS4.
of 360s did not have HDMI ports.
really,
Ooh.
my 360 did.
It wasn't a first batch.
Yeah,
then,
it was.
We-
But
when
it's
they
still
come with
really
the
old, my
replay, you have to
console.
turn them down. Be like,
Dude.
sorry, this is too old.
It was the craziest thing when I opened up the 360 way back when, because I saw that cable and I was like, what is this for? Because I had a projection TV still, and I was like, what does this cable? I'm just gonna keep it in the box. And then years later, my mom got a newer TV for her room, and I was, she had me hook up stuff to it, and I was like, oh wait, this is for that cable. And I plugged it in, and I was like, oh, I wonder what it looks like. And I was like, holy crap, this looks amazing. It looks so much better. Oh, it's
Yeah, I
great.
remember when I made the jump from a CRT. Good
Yeah,
day.
yeah. It was amazing when my family actually got an HD TV.
Dude, I remember. I miss that old CRTV my mom had, because it was just, I don't know, it was just like iconic, and it was nostalgic because it was such a big TV with the speakers on the side. And I remember I came home from school one day and it was gone, and this projection TV was there, and she said that the mover said that the CRT was like so much heavier than this projection TV, which it was. The projection was like super light because there was like nothing in it.
Yeah, it's mostly an empty box.
I even like tried to track down that old CRT. I was like, I wonder if I could find it and get it just for the lulz, but I don't remember the model. I just remember it was like a Zenith and had speakers on the side, and that's it.
I still have CRTs in like some of the bedrooms in my house. Like,
You remember when Zenith was a brand?
Yeah, I remember.
yeah, I do.
No, my basement's become sort of a refuge, or my parents' basement rather has become a refuge for CRTs. There's like
Oh,
4
mine
giant
too.
CRTs down there.
I remember the recycling plant. Do you guys remember when I told you about this? There was a recycling plant near my house, and it was just a graveyard of CRTs. And a bunch of them had the cables cut off and the tubes broken. There was still a couple that looked fine, so I took them home and I plugged them in, and they all worked fine. And I was like, nice. And there was one really small one with a VHS player in it, and I was like, I'm gonna keep this just for me for no reason. I'm gonna put it in my room for no reason.
Have you actually used it?
I have actually used it a little. I had it in like my work area where I make like my projects and stuff, and I put in my old VHSs of Star Wars, and I was like, wow, this is taking me back, just because of like remembering the audio of how the old movies were, and it was really cool. But now it's in the basement because I didn't use it. But I will.
I've got a CRT sitting in my apartment. It's
Yeah,
got
I remember when I came there, I was like, oh, dude, you had this huge TV and a little CRT next to it with the GameCube plugged in just for Melee.
it's basically all it's for. Well, Mario Party was played on it once.
Oh yeah, that was me. I
Yeah.
kicked James's ass.
You need a CRT for Mario Party.
It's just what my Wii is plugged into. No, you gotta get that. You need that 0 lag for Mario Party.
Zero
like,
lag
you need it
Mario
to-
Party.
He's right.
You need it for watching minigames. Otherwise, you're just gonna lose. I
Exactly.
mean, you're gonna lose anyways because like Jake or James can mash. I can't.
And see what that's
Is
gotten
he-
me.
Is James better than Larone in mashing?
See,
Oh,
should have vibrated.
No. James
Probably not.
James isn't faster than me.
Oh, okay.
And
I think
Larone
I'm
is
faster
like
than you right
equal.
now. You- Money match, mash right now.
Right. I would probably still
yeah,
win
let's-
with much regret.
Oh,
I
oh
can
you wow!
I can still mash.
You
it-
break your hands for
Endurance
a
run.
few dollars.
While mashing, it would probably not hurt me. It would just be like the moment I stopped, I would probably be in agony.
But Jake, it's an endurance run. We go until one of us has to stop.
Well, that's just wait. How do you determine when we stop? I could just like mash really slow.
Yeah, what?
Well, I mean, we'd have a moderator to say, "Are you actually mashing?" And it would be up to their discretion. At some point, you would take your hand off and go, "Fuck."
I think we
How
would have
many
to set
taps
a
a second
we'd have to set a minimum.
Mashing.
Like 7 mashes a second or something.
Can I even do that?
Yeah, you
Probably
you can do 7. Okay, if you couldn't do more than 7 a second,
I can do
then
that.
like you can probably do that with one finger without a problem.
Mhm.
One thing. You're
That's
mashing with
still-
2 fingers.
Like just your thumb. I mean, I usually 2-finger mash or put my thumb and index finger together because you can vibrate better that way.
A
But
2-finger mash.
That's still the best moment in Mario Party when I head to head with Joe, and I was pretending to mash until the very end and actually tried, and I still did.
that was
I think I don't play. I haven't played Mario Party a lot in my life, but I still remember the best time was when in Julian's old room with Larone and Ishan. I think it was Ishan, and like you guys prefaced it saying like, "Oh, Julian always gets screwed over at the very end, like somebody
Yep.
switches his stars or something," and that totally happened. But it was like when the wheel was spinning, deciding who it was gonna switch with. It was like everybody was quiet up till then. They were laughing super hard because it was happening, and it was super quiet. And then it hit Julian, and it was the loudest yell of like, "Oh my god!" I was like, my ears hurt, and I think the people next to us, like the room over, were like, "Could you keep it down?"
Right, I always get screwed over in Mario Party.
yeah,
Welcome to Mario Party.
you deserve it.
I deserve it.
Yeah. The only thing I remember really about Mario Party IIT is Julian always losing, and that one time Lauren and I went head to head in that Womp mashing minigame, and we dead tied.
Oh yeah.
That's all I remember.
I'm still remembering that moment when Joe and
Yeah,
Larone
Joe-
went head to head. Mashing and Larone tried at the end. You won.
Joey is absurdly bad at mashing. All right, enough about talking about people who aren't here.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we should just
Backwards
make this.
compatibility.
No, I think we should make this probably our last topic or second to last topic here. Hardest level in a video game. We kind of did one of these last week where we kind of picked a top of some category in video games. This week, hardest level that you can
That's a
think of.
topic.
I'm just gonna say Bobopolis again. That's the hardest level I played in recent memory.
Oh please.
Okay, come on.
What?
Bobopolis isn't
Still
that.
probably Ornstein and Smo. I know it's a boss, but man, you know,
Yeah,
man.
I'll say the level leading up to them because those goddamn motherfucking archers.
Oh yeah, and Orlando, that was annoying. Oh my
Yes.
god. And Orlando was like so annoying because like before there's this big hall right before that boss, and the areas before there are like well now I
had to
remember
break
what
the rule,
area
and I
Mitch
thought
is
about it,
talking
I
about.
decided to do it.
Yeah, now I know what area Mitch is talking about. They're these archers that you're like running on the
Essentially
Not
a
steep.
tightrope.
yeah, not steeples, but like there's these the arches that connect the towers to the full building, and you have to run there, and these archers are shooting you with arrows, not just regular arrows, great arrows. So you get hit, you're instantly done. Like there's nothing you can do unless you have like a crazy good shield and
Can't
poison
even
stuff.
block them.
Maybe.
Shoot off
yeah.
if you block. There's too much recoil.
But I think I don't know. Dark Souls has a lot of levels that are hard, but they're all consistently hard. So I wouldn't really. I don't know. Hardest level. That's man. I don't know.
I know.
All right, Mary, drop it.
Okay.
Oh, I have something else. I just thought about
No,
something. Go
this-
ahead, Mary.
This level is so hard. I gave up and I never finished it. And
This is
Um,
the build up.
it's from Kingdom Hearts Recoded. It's
Ugh.
You played Coded? Really?
yeah, that was my first
Mary,
Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh.
You're
Really?
more hard. You're more hardcore Kingdom Hearts than any of the rest of us.
Yeah,
watched the
I've
movie
never
for
played
Coded.
Coded.
Oh my
Never
god,
played any of them.
Mary, that's amazing. So what level was it?
It's definitely like it's before you get to the last boss. You have to go through this like I don't even know how to explain it, but like it's one of those things where it's like scrolling and you have to like in real time like do I don't know. It's complicated and I've never gone past it. And I tried many times and I eventually gave up and I never finished.
Wow.
And I did that when I was like in I don't know if I was in middle school. No, I was in middle school.
I
So
could say the same for Sephiroth and Kingdom Hearts 2.
yeah,
Mm,
Kingdom Hearts is
wasn't
no
that-
joke.
Well,
I don't know.
some
Sephiroth was, I feel like, kind of easy for me because I had Ultima weapon.
just reflect.
I didn't have the
Yeah.
ultimate weapon, and I
No,
didn't.
not even reflect. I just guarded like normal.
Yeah, guard and reflect.
I didn't use any spells. I don't think. Maybe I used reflect once. I just remember that was like just pure. At least for me, I was like, wow, this is just pure fighting. I didn't use any magic. I mean, you couldn't use summons or anything because Donald and Goofy weren't there. Yeah, it was interesting. Sephiroth was cool. That was a memorable boss fight. I wish I could have used that last week.
All right, Julian, what you got?
He already said it.
I thought you said he had something else.
I don't know if it was. Okay, Cereza and Bayonetta. I found her pretty hard.
Are we talking about
So-
bosses or levels?
That
It's
She's
like
a
boss and
boss.
a boss can be a level, part of a level.
Yeah. Well, the entire level was her boss fight.
Didn't we
Huh.
do that?
We did like
Yes.
favorite like levels or something.
We did boss fight. Well, last week.
Well, it wasn't hard. It still was favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Cereza and Bayonetta, I found her. So Cereza, she's like your counterpart in the game. I'd have to explain Bayonetta. Bayonetta's an Umbran Witch. Cereza is also an Umbran Witch. There are multiple points in the game where she challenges you, and her final fight in the first Bayonetta is a bit challenging because she has like all of your moves. Like that, like for example, Bayonetta can turn into a panther, and Cereza can do the same thing. And there are multiple phases where like one point where you're fighting on top of a building, you're fighting her on the side of a building and stuff like that. I found her hard. I had to redo the fight like
Is she the
at
one that
least
wears
3 or
red?
4 times.
Hmm.
All
I
right.
think she shows up in the second game.
Yeah, she's in the second game, but the plot of the second game is that Cereza's like she's kidnapped by demons from hell, and you have to go save her.
Fault.
What?
Spoilers.
That's like the first 10 minutes of the
That's
game.
literally the introduction to the
Yeah.
Yeah, not spoiler.
Like the hour I put into the game, I knew that much.
Yes.
All right,
All right.
Yep.
Anybody else?
Mitch, what you got?
Didn't I already say mine?
Or did you? Yeah, you
Never.
did.
Yeah, you did.
You did. You
I-
did.
I went,
You-
I
you-
went full R sports on it.
Yeah. You piggybacked off of Mauricio's. All right,
Well, and Orlando. Yeah, it's a hard level the first time going through.
Larone.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah,
I,
nothing.
I don't remember anything being that hard.
Yeah, I'm struggling a bit with this too. The 2 answers I've come up with are not exactly. Well, I'll just say them anyway. So, like, we were talking about Tropical Freeze earlier. Now I was talking about getting gold medals, and
Well, that counts.
I got a gold on stage 1-6. I don't remember the name of the stage. I just remember
Which
it's
one is that
1-6.
one?
That was the hardest, probably the hardest thing I've ever done in a video game, like within the bounds of the game, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? The game,
Sounds about right.
a requirement to get something in the game,
Yeah.
and yeah, that was the one that took actually months. Like I would just like do it on and off, like grind out attempts of it, and yeah, it took forever. I refused to look at any like runs or strategies. I just like wanted to just get the gold because I had a bronze for forever. Never got a silver. I skipped silver, went straight to gold. But
Yeah, that's why I refuse to do the time trials. It's
yeah, they're
pretty hard to
they're
do.
hard. And I guess my
Yeah.
other thing, which is totally probably cheating as an answer, but it would be the Great Deku Tree in Ocarina of Time, the
Is
any
this a
percent
speedrunning thing?
right, the any percent route of the
Yeah,
Great Deku
yeah.
Tree.
I would say that counts.
that is probably the most amount of time I've spent doing anything in a video game, like any single level, like being able to do it the speedrun route consistently, where you skip a whole bunch of stuff and you warp to the end of the game from there and all that. Definitely an insane amount, insane amount of hours spent in the first dungeon of the game. So I guess
I can only imagine how monotonous and that must have felt.
no, it's not monotonous. It's awesome.
I mean, well, because most of the things I encounter that are considered hard are mostly hard because they're designed to be like trial and error-ish.
Like I want to be the guy, or
Like
games like that.
Sans was kind of hard, I guess.
Mhm.
That took like an hour.
So I haven't played Undertale.
Beating Guitar Hero on expert. That was I don't know if expert counts as a level. Guitar Hero 3.
Through the fire and flame.
That's not a requirement.
Oh,
We carry on.
Through the fire and the
yeah.
flames.
I
is
was
the
gonna
bonus.
start pulling out rhythm games because that's all I got.
Yeah, because I definitely I beat
The-
I beat Guitar Hero 3 on expert, and that took actually
the
years.
the big black fox on Osu. It's the hardest.
Well, see, that's a fan. Those are like fan-made maps, so I don't really count that.
Yeah, so
The
you can do
big
the same
black
thing with
what
Guitar
now?
Hero. There are like actually stupid like tabs you can like attempt to play, I guess.
Did you guys ever see the video of a dude that played this one song on Guitar Hero blindfolded and he got 100%?
No.
Jeez.
I mean,
That was the craziest. I was like, this is a joke. Like, why would you play this blindfolded? And he totally did it. And it showed he had like a string of all the times he failed because he missed one note and he knew and he immediately quit. He's like, God dang it. And he kept going. I was like, wow, this is.
I mean,
why blindfolded? First,
when you get to like the really hard like songs in Guitar Hero, a lot of it is kind of memorization. Because like Charles is like really good at Guitar Hero, and like Through the Fire and the Flames, like the whole intro and like first half of the song, he's just like, you have to commit it to memory. Like you have no choice. You can't like process the notes that fast.
It's not that you have to. It's that eventually you play it so much, it's gonna happen anyway.
yeah, you just,
Right, it's
just
more
gotta
muscle memory than
yeah.
anything. You're not actively thinking about the upcoming notes. Your fingers just know what to do.
It's
Yeah,
like you're
like
not
that
trying
one
to, but
song.
it just happens.
Like
Yeah.
that one song in DDR Supernova that I can play on not even a high difficulty.
Is it a paranoia?
No, it was.
Is it Zephyr?
No, it wasn't Zephyr. It was Doll, the one that's like when you're playing it, there's like a rip-off Gundam anime going off
Ooh.
in the background.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember it being hard.
No, I didn't say it was hard. I was just like, that's the one time that I was like, muscle memory became a thing for me because I
Oh.
was just like, I would play that one song over and over again because I liked it. I don't know. Yep, muscle memory.
All right. So we're already over time, so I say we just close it out with a nice
Oh, we're over
easy.
time.
Wait. We have a timer?
Oh Lord.
You want to
You
go
got-
until 12?
Why
No,
not?
I have to work.
Same.
Exactly.
So-
I'm gonna be leaving within the next minute.
So, all right. So let's just end it real quick. If anyone wants to talk about shows that they're currently watching, that's of any interest, and then we will close out the show with our play
Big
out.
Mouth.
music. What's that?
You're watching Big Mouth?
Yeah.
What's that?
How
What is
my
that?
friend Anthony said it was really good, but it
It's
was like
funny.
I just can't get like I haven't seen it because of the art style. It just I can't look at it. Yeah, I don't know what it is. They just look weird to me, and I'm just like I can't.
I
do it.
mean, yeah,
Also,
it's
the
kind of
subject matter
ugly.
is maybe like I don't want to.
it's so
I just
funny.
don't. Yeah.
But that's what I like about it is because like everybody can relate to it. But maybe the humor is kind of tough to get over, and I guess the art style. But like I find the art style like the more ugly it is, like the funnier it is because it's so ridiculous. Like everything is so ridiculous. Like the art style is the last thing that I'm thinking about, to be honest. But yeah, I think everyone should at least watch. What episode is it? They should watch like the first 3 episodes, and if you still hate it,
What
Don't
is
know.
this?
It's
Yeah.
called
um,
Big Mouth.
It's
on
called Big
Netflix.
Mouth. Yeah, it's like an adult cartoon about puberty. Um, and it's really it's quite vulgar, but it's really funny. And quite stupid.
Mm.
But it's about this.
Sounds like an adult cartoon. Vulgarity, humor. Yep.
Yeah, it's funny,
That
but it's not for
wasn't a
everybody.
stab at the
But
show. It's just
no, I got you. But
Hmm.
I think it's a good.
All right, Julian, what you watching? That's worth recommending.
Why is it always me?
What do you?
Um,
You're at
I
the top of
mean-
the list.
okay, well, I'm trying to spam anime because the anime awards are coming up, and I want to have a good opinion of the shows that are nominated.
That already happened.
No, they're on they're live stream on February 24th.
Oh,
Yeah. So I've seen Made in Abyss, Konosuba. Oh boy, Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. What else have I seen? I mean, I've seen Boku no Hero season 2 and Attack on Titan. Watch those throughout the year. I've seen some other shows too, but I would recommend Made in Abyss. I've already talked about that on the show. I would also recommend Konosuba. I think Konosuba's hilarious. I can understand why someone would disagree with me because humor's subjective and stuff, but yeah. I'm currently watching Aka, which is like this political drama anime. There's a lot of talking in it, but it's fine so far, and the opening's really good. So I mean, if you like that kind of thing, I'll recommend it. Yeah.
cool.
cool.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Mauricio, you watching anything?
Larone, what are you watching?
Still just Criminal Minds. Designated Survivor will be back next week.
What's that?
My man Jack Bauer's the president. Well, Kiefer Sutherland is the president because I think he was on the cabinet for like housing and architecture. He was the guy that stays back in case the Capitol building blows up during the State of the Union or something like that. And the Capitol building blew up, so literally everyone on Congress and the president dies. He's president now,
That's crazy.
and he has to rebuild the government and stuff. Yeah.
Huh.
It's a little cheesy, but decent.
You got anything, Mauricio?
I haven't been watching like TV or anything consistently in a while. I mean, the last thing I was watching on Netflix was like Star Trek Voyager, and I mean, that's probably the only other show I'll watch. And Voyager's at the point with every Star Trek where you know it's a good show, you're invested, the characters are good, but now because it's been running so long, there's a string of kind of cheesy, not really forgettable, just like episodes you wouldn't recommend. And then there's one super good episode, so that's where I am right now. But it's been weeks. My life has just been work in the morning, then working out after that, and then watching YouTube videos because I don't have a lot of time left, and then go to sleep.
Fair enough.
If I can strum up enough care, I'll eventually get to Ruby.
Oh,
No.
yeah. I've seen
I just don't
Ruby
care enough.
Volume 5 too. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
I still think season 3 is the best, but yeah.
I still have to see Ruby seasons 4 and 5, and then I have to finish I have to finish Red versus Blue seasons 14 and 15 because seasons 1 through 13 are on Netflix, and that's all I've seen. Because I watched it back in the day up until season 5, but I like stopped, and then I got caught up on Netflix.
Same here.
Season
Exactly the same
Yep.
season.
Oh really?
Yep. But then, I
My
just
problem was
like
they
lost
stopped
interest.
numbering it. No, my problem was they stopped numbering it, and on the website it was just like recreation, recollection, and relocation, and I was just like, I can't. What? There's no number. I forget this, and I was just too impatient. But yeah, I'm back to it. And then I've always listened to the Rooster Teeth podcast like forever, even though I never watched most of their videos. And so I've just been big fans of them. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch their stuff, the stuff that I haven't been watching in forever.
Yeah, still
What about you?
can't get myself to care enough.
Oh, come on.
Man, I don't know. Rooster Teeth. I don't know. I haven't watched any of their recent stuff, so maybe it's good.
I love Rooster Teeth. They're great. Shorts are great. Immersion's cool. A bunch of their one-offs are still good. Oh, they have a show called Master and Apprentice where they have like a prop maker who's been in the movie industry for years, and then just one of the guys at the company who's like a kind of a novice or like amateur cosplayer guy. He just makes stuff in his free time, but he doesn't do a page for it or anything. And they have them both make something, and it's just really cool watching them make. I mean, you guys know me. I love seeing stuff get made. It's an interesting show. You should check it out.
That actually kind of sounds interesting. Because I like watching like if you've ever watched any of Adam Savage's one day builds, those are pretty cool.
Oh, I've seen. Yeah, those are cool. Tested has a lot of cool stuff, but
Yeah, it does. But like the problem is you have to like sift through a lot. Through
Yeah.
because they just put out a lot of content, and most of it I don't care about.
yeah, like I'm not subscribed to them, but I'll check in every now and again,
Right,
or I'll find a
yeah.
video they did years ago, and I'm like, oh, cool, look at that.
I'll
They
just
made an
occasionally.
arcade-
No, yeah, finish.
No, I was just, oh, they made an arcade machine that has all these different things you could play on it. Oh, they never finished it. Good job, Norm. You suck.
Yeah, I just occasionally
Also-
watch them when it's recommended to me, and
I
sometimes it's
only
cool stuff.
care about Ruby from Rooster Teeth, so maybe their podcast. That's about it.
Do you listen to their podcast?
I listened to it like once when a certain someone was on there, but
Who was the certain someone?
it was Mia Khalifa.
That wasn't the Rooster Teeth podcast. That was
What
Always
was it?
Open.
Or whatever.
Always Open
was
is
who?
another podcast made by or like hosted by Barbara Dunkelman. She's like
Yeah, that.
yeah. She is on the Rooster Teeth podcast all the time, but she has her own show now called Always Open. And yeah. So I haven't listened to Always Open just because I don't really it's hard for me to branch out on something that I already like. I tend to just stick with that. And podcasts are another thing where it's like, oh man, another podcast I have to listen to an hour, and if I don't like it, that was an hour. I could have listened to something else or whatever, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I've
Also,
heard-
I don't really like the subject matter that Barbara tends to go to sometimes. I don't know. Just some of her humor, it's not really my taste. But the Rooster Teeth podcast is cool because there's 4 different people that they play off of each other, and they all have different things. So, you were saying, Jake?
No, I was just saying the only stuff I've ever seen from the Rooster Teeth podcast is when they animate stuff, like all the little animation.
Oh yeah.
That
I
are-
watched their animated
Yeah.
short. Yeah.
They-
Those
animated
I've
adventures are
binged
awesome.
before. Yeah,
Yeah.
those are pretty good.
Oh yeah, and I watched $1 Million Spot from Rooster Teeth.
Oh
Man, I
yeah,
remember-
that's right. Okay, yeah, I watched a bunch of those because of Julian.
$1 million butt. A lot of money.
You got one? You got
Man,
one
whatever.
for us?
No,
What's
What
what?
was
That
it?
seems
No,
like a good thing to
do you
close out the
remember-
show.
do you remember their original one? Oh yeah, what'd you do? All right, so this is one from like one of their first episodes. $1 million butt. You won't have to spend another cent in your life. Anything you buy will be paid for, no matter what. You could buy $1 million house, or you could buy like, $1 slice of pizza at wherever, right? Nothing you pay for. You wanted to, but every time you make a transaction, there'll be a guy behind you that sticks his finger up your butt for a good 5-10 seconds.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
right.
like the first episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the first episode. Would you do it? You don't have to pay for anything in your life.
I know.
Probably
I know.
not.
Like I know. Like when I first heard it, like we like talked about a whole bunch of loopholes.
Can I hire someone to manage my money for me?
Right.
No.
Like, or can I like go buy like a whole ton of gold or something, like all at
Yeah.
once, and then like so I
I
make
would-
one purchase, get my ass fingered for like a second, but then like I have enough gold to make up all the money I'll ever need to spend for the rest of my life.
Nope.
Yeah.
Doesn't work like that.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, then in that case, probably not.
Gonna have to go with no.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Also, like,
Oh,
what's the
here's
fun of
another one I
that?
like.
Like, I don't know.
Here's $1 million. This was another one of their episodes. It was $1 million, but every time you go to the bathroom or whatever, anytime you take your penis out of your pants, it glows with like this obscenely bright light. Would you do it?
No.
Okay.
What is obscenely bright meaning?
Yeah. So am I gonna go blind or not?
Like it would be hard to look at. It'd be like
Like looking at a light
like
bulb.
a 250 watt bulb was the example that they
250. That's
Oh
more than
my
hard.
God.
That's more than hard to look at. That's like
Whoa.
that's like looking into the eyes of the sun.
used. Yeah, but it only happens when you take your wiener out. So
Only,
pants
like
on,
when you take it or
totally
when you
fine.
take a piss.
Yeah.
Anytime your wiener is exposed.
So every woman you
Oh,
ever
yeah,
get to know
that's
is
what I was-
gonna go blind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
no good.
once it's in, it's fine.
It's already blind.
She
So
just
my
doesn't
woman's
look at it.
blind. I'm blind. My doctor's blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you get like surgery? Like, what if you needed surgery or something? You just like everyone has to wear
They wear
like
they
welding
wear
like
welder masks.
yeah, that's a welding mask.
So
Yeah.
you gotta
Oh,
get
man.
them for your doctor or anyone you get intimate with. You gotta give them glasses. So that this is a lot of work.
Yeah, there are very few of those scenarios I would take the movie.
There was one that I think the one that stands out was it was like every time you look at someone that is like hot or like someone you find attractive, you throw up just a tiny bit in your mouth, like enough to swallow it back down, but just a tiny bit.
I don't know why I imagine someone like on 4chan complaining about this being an actual problem. Like every time I see a woman, I throw up a little bit in my mouth, but it's cool because it doesn't come out.
I just I just thought that was so funny because their examples were like, imagine you're at dinner with like your significant other and you happen to see a hot chick behind them just for a glance and you just puke up a little bit and they're like, what's wrong? What's going on? And you're like, oh, nothing. Or like you're being so comfortable with your girlfriend and she comes up to you and she's like, you just don't throw up when you see me anymore.
Oh god.
That becomes a problem. And so like the way they portrayed it was like you see this guy pretending to make himself throw up in front of his girlfriend. So it's like, see, I still think you're hot. Oh,
No, I
man,
would not do
love
that
Rooster
one. What the
Teeth.
fuck? No. But like, what about the 250 watt light bulb one? But instead, it's like a 30 watt light bulb.
That
Well,
isn't
alright.
extremely bright.
Yeah.
So what
that-
if your dick what if your dick was like bioluminescence, where you could see it glow, you can tell it glows, but it's not crazy obscene, and
That would
it like
just-
glows like
That would just be cool.
it glows like blue or green or something.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah, I'll
Oh, no,
take the
you,
money.
you can
I'd
change
take
your
it, man.
color. You can make your wiener go rainbow if you.
I
want
would
to.
pay for this.
Yeah,
You don't need to give me money.
Where's the downside again?
There's I don't know.
Sometimes at
You
random
can't-
it will.
You can't control it. You could pick the color, but it will always glow no matter what.
Sometimes at random
This
the
is
lights will
fine.
change to make it look like it's half the length that it actually is.
I'm done. I mean, you were trying to close out, but
Yeah, I think we've said plenty at this point.
I have other shows that I've watched.
Oh wait, yeah. Oh, I didn't say the shows I'm watching. First of all, I tried to watch Black Mirror. I've watched the first
Mhm.
episode.
I only hear good things about that show.
That show is really hard to watch.
Really.
Like
oh, cool. No, tell me about it. Why is it hard to watch?
I can't say too much without giving away the first episode, but like
Oh, about the pig?
yeah,
Yeah.
that I barely made it through
See,
that.
that was big news because there was something like a controversy of a politician actually doing what happened in that episode. So I was like, so I heard about that already.
Yeah, that was a tough episode to watch. That's an interesting
Nice.
choice for a first episode.
Funny. See, I
but-
like Twilight Zone, but there's something about Black Mirror that keeps me from watching it. Is that it's too like modern in its problems. You know what I mean? Like
it's not
it's all technology based.
it's not like Twilight Zone. I don't like the only like people compare it to Twilight Zone because every episode is different. But I think that's
Right.
basically where the similarities end. I
Oh, okay.
do not see what people are talking about when they say it's like the Twilight Zone, because it's not like the Twilight Zone.
That and Stranger Things or Netflix shows.
Yeah, I don't care about Stranger Things. And then the other show I've been watching is Better Call Saul, which
Yeah.
I'm about halfway through the first season of that, and I like it so far. It's pretty cool. There's a couple side stories in it that are kind of whatever. Like I don't really care that much about them. Like Saul. Well, his name isn't actually Saul, but yeah, who you know is Saul, his brother. I do not care about that side story, but it's kind of like a third of the show right now. Hopefully that'll change.
This is as good as Breaking Bad.
I mean, I'm only 6 episodes in, but
Nah, it's fine to have an opinion.
That's just not fair.
yeah. I mean, the answer is probably not, because I'm actually going to go ahead and say no, it's not. I mean, even the first 6 episodes of Breaking Bad were kind of like, even that show's a masterpiece. It's kind of hard to.
But
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
it
It's just not
better
fair.
than Konosuba?
Probably.
Of course.
You guys are anime haters?
No, we're just real.
Yeah.
No?
Oh, is there a show that you stopped watching because you're like, I hate this now? Like you really enjoyed it, but then you're like, I hate this, I can't.
No.
For me, it was The Flash because I watched The
Mhm.
Flash and I was like, oh, season 1, oh, okay, cool. Season 2 was like, all right, that was pretty cool. But then something happens at the end of season 2 that changes season 3, and then the first episode is like, oh, I did this thing and I don't like how things ended up. I'm gonna see if I can fix that. And then he does it, and it didn't fix it, and he's like, well, what the hell? And I was just so pissed because I was like, why make him have this huge conflict that he dealt with for the first 2 seasons and just be like, nope, I'm gonna change it, and then changes it, and then he doesn't like the result, and he's like, well, whatever, I'll just change it back again.
Yeah. I experienced that pretty hardcore with Dexter.
Oh.
I think most people who watch Dexter experience
Well,
that
I
with
finished
Dexter.
that.
You're insane.
I mean, I didn't. I finished it. I didn't say it was good.
Season 6, I made it through season
6
5.
was, yeah.
Season 6 was actually unwatchable.
5 was, wait, which one?
I might be mixing up my numbers. 5 or 6 was a turning point where it got bad, and I got up to the stuff with his sister, and I
Season 6 was a dump, and then 7 is actually decent, and then 8 is.
I couldn't make it to 7. I know exactly what happens in 8, and oh my
I
god.
only hear about how bad like the season 6 ending is for Dexter.
It's not as bad as
Well-
season 8. Season 8 is
Yeah,
probably one of the worst things aired on TV.
yeah, that's like all time bad. I don't know how you can write 1, 2, and 4, and then somehow get to 8. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's unbelievably bad. It's truly incredible.
now I'm curious. Like I kind of want to check out how
You should just
bad
watch
it
the
gets.
first 4 seasons.
You should watch the first 4 seasons though. That will really help you appreciate how bad season 8 really is.
Okay.
But yeah,
Oh,
that show and Iron Fist kind of. I finished Iron Fist though, but like
Oh, it sucked.
that show kind of sucked. None of the like honestly, the side stories was the only thing that made that show like acceptable to watch. But like the main character, Danny Rand is actually like one of the worst characters created by Marvel.
The only point of
The-
like Iron Fist is like, hey, remember the hand? Well, they're so big that they crossed over into another show, and then the Defenders was more of that. So it's like,
Yeah, I haven't. Oh,
don't
yeah, that's right. We only watched like the first. I only watched like the first. No. That's right. I finished it. That's right. I finished Defenders. Defenders is like really short. That's right. Watching that other show with the other guy, Punisher.
So we need to
Sure.
watch that.
Punisher's
Don't have a
actually
Netflix account.
is actually
at the
halfway
moment.
decent. Punisher's pretty good. Defenders was pretty meh. There was some good fan service, but that was about it.
Joe was like, Defenders is like Luke Cage season 2 or something.
No,
I forgot what he said.
No, because that would mean it would probably be good.
I think he was like Iron Fist season 2, something like that.
Luke Cage was the second best Marvel show. Jessica Jones was the best one. Don't think anyone can disagree with that. Except I know people do. But Jessica Jones is the best one. Kilgrave is
I
the
like
most
your
interesting
season.
villain. The Hand is
Luke
boring.
Cage. I need to finish Jessica Jones
On the
on
list. I hate you. All right.
the
Everyone's got
It's
anything?
buried by anime.
If anything's got anything else to say, otherwise, I think we're good to close out for real. What do you guys think?
Oh,
Yeah, I should
wait. Follow the stream. Yeah,
Oh yeah, right. Plugs. All right. Thank you. This episode was sponsored by Google. Believe it or not. Make sure you plan your next podcast through Google Docs, the shareable, scalable cloud document service. Go to docs.google.com/thechat to get a 100% off discount. You can use Google Docs for free today with offer code THECHAT. And that's all we got for sponsors today. Sorry, kind of light on them. Any other plugs?
You should watch A Silent Voice. I'm plugging Kyoto Animation. It deserves an Oscar nomination. Screw the Lost Baby.
All right.
It's Kyoto.
I think it is.
Is there some Yuri bait in it?
No.
And that's the
Whack.
I
show.
didn't even know that.
Play you out with some
'Cause I
Gangplank
do.
Galleon.
You should watch Phony.
I don't even know if A Silent Voice is Kyoto. I'm like checking. Oh, we've seen Phony. Low key.
I never said I saw it. I just said you should watch it.